Oh, there we go.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first live show of Yakshire Outdoors. Today, we're talking about things that we can do off the water to make the next trip on the water easier, faster, and more efficient. I do have Bob from Bobcat Outdoors with me today to help me out with this. This guy is an expert
Howdy,
planner,
howdy.
expert planner, expert equipment handler. He does repairs on reels. I mean, this guy is all about this type of stuff, whether he wants to admit it or not. I see him do it all the time. I just thought it'd be a good idea to bring him along for the ride. But for those of you that are new here, my name is Anthony. We're Yakshire Outdoors. We're doing everything we can to help people catch more and bigger fish. We talk about tips, we talk about trips, talk about tricks, and we go on trips to show everybody these things and see what we can do to make happen. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll get started. So one of the first things you can do when it comes to getting ready for your trips and stuff is to work on your equipment. This can be as simple as respooling a reel, checking lines for nicks, checking leaders for nicks, checking out rusted hooks on lures, sorting tackle, checking your safety gear. If you're wearing a PFD, if you're on a kayak, you're on your boat, your safety whistle, your dry bag for dry clothes in case you get stranded or flip your kayak, any of that good stuff. And it includes simple things. You can even tie up spare rigs. That's a big thing for big catfish angling is to have spare rigs ready to go. Same for carp angling, same for crappie angling for that matter. If you're doing any kind of high-low rig or any kind of jig setup, you can always have your stuff pre-made and ready to go, especially if you have something like balancing a jig head. Stuff like that. It's little things you can do that will save you a minute or two here, a minute or two there. Well, if you're doing it 6 or 7 times in a trip, then that's 20 minutes of your time, right? So if you do it ahead of time, the next time you're on the water, it's way more efficient and works out way better for everybody involved. The next thing that you can look at besides working on equipment is doing things such as repair work on your boat or your kayak. This includes doing upgrades, whether it be for upgrading camera equipment, upgrading batteries, upgrading fish finder, just updating the maps on the fish finder, all kinds of little things. But it also includes stuff like hull repair, equipment maintenance, checking the seat on your kayaks, make sure there's not any rips or tears, things that'll make things uncomfortable or could result in lost time on the water. Even things that people don't think about, even for that matter. If you have a pedal kayak, you gotta lubricate your pedals on your kayak. You gotta lubricate the chains. You gotta lubricate the actual bearing housings on those that have those. Check the propeller for nicks. Make sure there's not any weeds or sand or grit stuck in the bearings on the bottom or on the hub as well. And then stuff like that. You gotta check all your stuff. What is that, Bob? What are you doing on my stream, buddy? He had some awful feedback on the back for a second there. It's all good. All right. So the biggest thing when it comes to preparing for these trips is doing the little things now to make the next things later. Another thing with the boat and the kayak thing, if you have a trailer, check your hubs. I know this guy, that guy right there, especially, is really, really good about it, but he did miss out on a trip because he was not aware he had to do it. And it can be an all-day process. They may not have the bearings in stock. It can completely ruin a day of fishing. So it's little things like that, guys. All we're worrying about is things that you can do now to not have to do the day of fishing so you can get on the water and fish more. Another thing you can do to make the thing a whole lot easier is pre-trip planning. If you know where you're going to go, if you know what you're going to fish for, if you have the bait and everything made already, you will be on the water faster. Being on the water faster is more bait time. Having bait in the water means more fish. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot catch fish if you do not have bait in the water. So you want to do that as fast as possible. Get out there as soon as possible and be as efficient as possible while you're on the water. And this could be all kinds of things. It can be studying spots to go to. It can be looking at lake maps or Google Earth, looking for structure before you even go out on the trip. This can be doing a trip that's just planned for you going out and driving around the lake, looking for spots and marking on your fish finder. It can be all kinds of little things. It can be just talking to the guy next door that just went fishing yesterday and see what he did. He may or may not tell you the truth, but it's something you can rule out or rule in, and it's up to you. But being able to get that information before you go out on the lake is going to make you more efficient because you have less time spent trying to figure out stuff that may or may not work because you already have eliminated some things or you have a list of things that already work. Another thing you can use, TWRA actually has a website where you can look at all the launch boat ramps and launch areas and access areas for the state of Tennessee. Now, I don't know if every state has these. I know Tennessee has it, so I'm under the impression that most states pretty much do this kind of thing. If they don't have it actual on their website, I am sure that you guys can find a forum group for your area and be able to find local spots or little hidden away spots. And again, that's another good thing about Google Earth too. You can find more spots, and you can explore those spots. And by doing that, you get yourself on the water faster, get yourself in a good spot faster, maybe even a spot you've never been before, or a spot where there's nobody else at, no boats, no trucks, no nothing. And it's all to yourself, and you can explore it out and maybe get on some more fish that you didn't know existed. Another thing you can do is look on YouTube, including my channel, shameless plug, right? Yak Shore Outdoors, and look for tips or trips that I've went on recently, be able to give you some ideas. You can use any channel, not just with mine. There's tons of people out there that are sharing out information, tons of people out there that are sharing techniques, tons of people out there that are sharing catches. It is really, really easy to get into, and it's really, really easy to find this type of information to make your trips faster. So that's all I really got for today. Really short and sweet, but it's just something that was on my mind because this past week I have not been able to fish, and so I've been doing things myself to get myself ready for next week when I can hopefully get on the water. And it made me think about, not everybody thinks about this kind of thing, so maybe my going through this could help you guys do the same thing. So any questions or any answers? I'm sorry, we're not going to do Q&A. You got any questions? I'm more than happy to answer. I'm sure Bob can help you out as well. So if you got any questions, let us know. Just put it in the chat, and we'll do some shout outs now too. Fishing with Big Mike, glad you're here. Thanks, buddy. Tim, what is up, Tim?
Mike.
Greenwell Fishing, hello. Obviously, Bobcat's here. Glad everybody is doing well. Glad everybody's here and sticking around. I appreciate it.
Mike, I caught one fish, a 17.5-pound blue after all the fishing I did. I caught a lot of wind burn. I can tell you that. My face is wind burnt bad, but caught one blue about 5:30. Oh.
How long were you on the water, Bob, today?
I think I left the house at like 9:30, and I put on around 10 o'clock. So I fished from about 10 till 6, I think. So
8 hours. Let me ask you a question, Bob. Was there anything that you could have done before today's trip that would make today's trip easier for you? Was there anything you ran into on the water?
Yeah, I took my wife's car keys with me. I probably shouldn't have done that.
Oh, Bob.
Mike wants to know when you started losing your hair, Anthony.
I started losing it in high school. I definitely started losing my hair in high school, but I definitely shave it on purpose now. Otherwise, I would look like Larry from the Three Stooges, where it grew sideways.
Right.
And I'm not about that life.
Well, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. You're right, but I don't like the way that looks.
Yeah, it's tough. That one fish I caught today, Mike, he had mud all over him. I mean, you could tell that catfish had just buried himself up in the mud. They're just not moving right now. Air run, yeah, like I was telling Mike, I caught one fish today, about 5:30. Caught a 17.5-pound blue, which means I didn't get skunked, but I sure didn't tear them up today.
17.5 more pounds than you would have got yesterday.
That's right.
Making those decals in your shop.
Yep. I'm trying to think. You asked me what could I have done to make today go easier. I mean,
did you have any leaders that were screwed up? Did you have any poles that needed to be re-spooled you didn't do?
I actually didn't even use any of my pre-made leaders. I didn't lose a rig today. I drug baits for about half the day and anchor fish for the other half. Yeah, you're right, Mike. Time on the water is better. Yeah, I think having rigs made up is a excellent idea. And I want to touch on the fact that Anthony talked about boat maintenance and trailer maintenance. Well, back in the summertime or in the spring, I missed a fishing trip because I had to change a bearing out of my trailer. I actually made it back. I I noticed in the rearview mirror or in the side mirror that my wheel was kind of wobbling, and I made it back to the shop. And I got out and looked, and my wheel was sitting like this. Well, the bearings, which that's something I kept them greased, but I should have paid more attention to them. So definitely trailer maintenance is important. But,
And Tim, you leave my hair alone.
what hair?
The hair that he used to see me with.
There.
When I first started working with Tim, I had hair.
Oh, you got a picture on your computer of you with hair?
No, I do not. It's on my phone and it's on my Facebook, but it will never be put on the stream. Not anytime soon. It
woke up 30 minutes ago, Mike.
I used to have a fro. For those who didn't know, it used to be about that long.
I'm gonna ask
kinky curly blonde hair.
Picture.
No, please don't.
Shayna, if you're watching, send me a picture of Anthony with hair.
She is not. She's actually upstairs with Josie right now, taking a nap. Greenwell, yes, time on the water is always better than time on the couch.
What could I have done better today? I was unprepared. I went crappie fishing this morning, and I got my crappie rods out of I started out in the morning. I planned on catfishing, but I was going to start out crappie fishing. Well, I got to my first spot and started shooting docks, and it didn't take me long to get hung up in some brush and lose my jig. And I looked around for my tackle bag with all my crappie jigs and jig heads and stuff in it. You know where it was at? It was in my
house.
truck. No, it was in my truck.
Just as bad. It was on the other side of the lake.
Upriver.
Yeah, exactly.
I was up 3 miles upriver from my truck. So, yeah, putting your tackle bag in the boat is a good idea.
And yeah, Tim, crappie should be starting soon if they haven't already. This weather's definitely threw them out of whack. I know some people are catching them shallow, but they're all sporadic right now. I mean, the couple of warm days we had, followed by the cold front, those couple of warm days get them chasing shad in the shallower water. But again, they're scattered. I've not seen anybody have huge baskets full of them. I've only seen one guy limit out, and it was completely random. I think he was out all day. So hopefully it'll be soon. I'm ready for some crappie sandwiches myself. But yeah, the catfish bite's been slow. I actually went bass fishing the other day. I caught 2. I hooked into several other ones and lost them. But I was doing something new, and it was cold, and I wasn't working right. And but yeah, I mean, some things are biting. It's just that you got to think about different presentations. But again, if you think about this stuff before you go on the water, it boils back down to being prepped and prepared. You'll be able to fish more, have your bait in the water longer, and have more chances of catching fish, which is what it's all about.
Sure. Yeah, the water temperature today, I think the highest I seen was maybe 45 degrees.
I'm actually surprised it's still that high, to be honest, with as cold as it's been for as long as it's been. When I went January 7th, when I did that maiden voyage with my wife on our kayaks, the water temperature was 45 and the air temperature was 20. So I fully expected it to be a lot colder soon, but I guess that recent rain's been fairly warm because, I mean, it's been 50-degree days when it's been raining. So I guess I would hold it up a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's in that video in particular, the one where I was catching crappie on the kayak was actually one they were spawning. I definitely plan on doing that again this year, and I actually plan on being prepared, actually thinking about it and knowing that I need an anchor instead of just drifting with the wind, or at least a drift sock, and hopefully be able to get on the spot and stay on longer.
Did I give you that anchor I had? I've got a kayak anchor. I need to give it to you.
I don't know if you gave it to me or not. I think I still have your earmuff stuff from when I was testing that motor on that little boat I got.
Okay. Yeah, I got that kayak anchor down in the basement.
Well, either way, I still got to get an anchor trolley for the new one. I have an anchor set up for the Perception that I gave my wife, but I do not have one for the new kayak yet.
Right on.
It is definitely coming up soon. Well, guys, that's all I really got today. If you want to stick around, hang out, cool. If not, that's the end of the show. If you got any more questions, I'm more than happy to take questions and answer what I can. I know Bob's willing to answer what he can. And we do appreciate you guys coming out and checking it out. And we'll definitely see you guys again on the next episode if you guys are leaving now.
Yep. Good first show, Anthony.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, we all need some new weather.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
March can't get here soon enough.
And arguably, March is my favorite time of the year to fish. Arguably. Whether that holds true this next year, we'll see. But last year and the year before both, the smallmouth were biting, the crappie were biting, the catfish were coming out. This year, I intend on doing some flathead catfishing from the kayak, which I'm really looking forward to.
I was thinking about this today. I think this year, this February, has been the slowest year of fishing that I've been, whether it's crappie or catfish or whatever. It's just been.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
so much slower than last year.
With the crappie bite not moving at all, they're not on vertical structure at all. So I mean, you can even see every weekend from like December through March, every year has all those guys fishing off the bridges. You don't have those right now. I've seen like 3.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's catching crappie.
Yeah, it's been an off year altogether.
And Tim, you're not wrong. I definitely need to do some trout fishing soon, but my fly rod is out of commission at the moment.
Have you been up to Lake Junior this year?
I have not.
I seen people fishing it today. You got to bring your own rock when you go over there and fish. The way I always used to fish it is pull off the road there on Amnicola and walk down the culvert. Not as many people fishing when they got to walk through the woods.
That is true. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off prematurely. My daughter woke up, and I have to go take care of stuff. No second. Hang on.
All right, make your mind up now.
Sorry for the hiccup. I'm back. Bye, Tim. Thanks for sticking around, man. Appreciate you coming by.
Later, Tim.
But yeah, no, Tim's the guy I used to work with. He's from Michigan also, and he's been with me from the beginning. So nice. It's been super cool.
You been from Michigan? It's cold or not bother you at all?
I have actually lived here longer than I lived in Michigan, so I'm at the point now where I've become accustomed to the warmer weather.
Yeah, you got southernized.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it. I call it Southern fried, but same thing. Yeah. I got fatter coming down here too. Everything's in grease. Everything, Oreos, Snickers, bars of butter.
We like to fry everything down here.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah. So what kind of maintenance do you have to do on a kayak?
So I have a pedal drive kayak, so there are cables that get to be tightened up every once in a while. There are bearings that got to be checked. The pedals themselves got to be inspected in case they start chipping away. I mean, they still have the straps over your foot, kind of like a bicycle pedal. Then the nicks and the scratches on the bottom, you can actually, depending on the kayak you have, you can use a blowtorch or a hair dryer and a spoon and actually smooth those back out, get rid of those holes and stuff, just to prevent you having to patch it later, unless it's really, really bad, obviously.
Yeah. You have a trailer you haul that thing on, or you just carry it in the bed of the truck?
Right now, it's just in the bed of the truck. I got a bed extender, and I have it in the back of the truck. I actually intend on buying a trailer this year because my wife has that other kayak now, and she likes to go too, and it's kind of a pain hauling 2 of them in the back of the truck.
Yeah, Mike wants to know when you're going catfishing again.
Honestly, there's a good chance I'm going to go some point next week. It's going to be an early morning trip because I'm on night shift, so it'll be sometime after I get off work in the morning. Where I'm going to go, I don't know, because at least 2 of my spots are off limits right now. And Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we get something. I'll have to catch some bluegills first. I don't have any skipjack in the fridge, and which is fine by me because I mean, if they're not running right now anyway, I feel like the bluegill usually does better when they're not running constantly at the skipjack. So we'll see. Hey Tim, I'm down for a trip to Tellico at some point.
I ain't fished Tellico in years. I used to trout fish
Wow.
all the time.
Well, I went 2 years ago, and that's when I caught that 7-pound brown trout. And then I went once last year with my wife, and we didn't do any good that day. But some days are good, some days are not. You know, it's hit or miss up there, just like anything else. Also, it really depends on what time you get up there during the week. Because if you're, there's the 2 days you're not allowed to fish at all. I think it's Thursday and Friday, right? So Saturday and Sunday is completely slam packed with people. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as long as it's not the summer, you can avoid some of the crowd because they're stuck in school. But then, like I said, you only got to Wednesday, and anybody who's fished it that week's going to be pulling all those stock trout out of there. So,
yeah, it stinks when you drive an hour and a half to get skunked.
I've done worse. I've driven further. I've been further. I mean, my saltwater trip recently, the one that was unplanned, I only caught 2 fish the whole week I was down there.
That was your first time fishing saltwater, though, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, I think I fished 3.5 or 4 hours total and caught 2 fish. Yeah. And that was split across 3 days. It wasn't all at one time. I caught that 1 fish off the beach, and I caught 1 fish in the river inlet under a bridge.
Yep.
Hey, thanks, Tim. I appreciate it, man.
Fishing's fishing.
Tell your wife I said hello. Fishing is fishing. You're right.
No matter where you go, the sinkers just look different at the beach.
Well, honestly, I was still using pyramid sinkers, which I mean, I don't use them as much now as I used to, but I used to use those all the time for a long time. Yeah. I do a lot more no rolls now, unless I'm in a spot where I'm going to lose sinkers no matter what. That I'm just buying the cheapest ones I can find.
Right. That's what Mike needs to start using at the pier over there. He needs to start using pyramid sinker because he likes to get hung up. I bet you a pyramid sinker will work good over there.
Actually, my
throw it out there, you ain't getting it back.
Well, I mean, that's normal when he's throwing 3 pounds of weight at once too, right, Mike?
True.
He picked up one day. It looked like a cannonball. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Tim, my main fishing setup is a 6 foot. What is it? 6'6" medium action rod with a spinner reel, and typically speaking, I'm running 10 or 15 pound braid with a 10 or 12 pound leader, sometimes smaller. That's my normal thing for just general fishing. Then I have a couple of specialized setups for carp and for catfish.
You need to stop barking at me.
It's because she's not on the screen, Bob. You didn't give her any screen time.
I'm eating deer jerky, and she wants some.
Of course she does.
Loves deer jerky. Who don't love deer jerky?
I'm sure there's somebody out there that doesn't like deer jerky, but I don't know anybody personally that doesn't like deer jerky.
I don't either.
All right, guys. Well, that's all the questions we got. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to call it a show. And remember, tight lines. And take it easy, everybody.
Good show, buddy.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, then. Be sweet.